Excellent. We're live now on both platforms. So tonight's class begins at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and we have a couple minutes to spare. So you want to have your mat, something soft to practice on. If you don't have a mat, a towel or a rug, or both. Loose, comfortable clothes. We're doing a sequence for the hips and the low back. There's going to be some muscle tone work that does help the health and flexibility of the hips and low back. And then there'll be plenty of good stretching. So it's not a workout class. It's not like a sweaty class, but it definitely will have a few strengthening things. And mostly we'll just take time to really chill. It's a great class for athletes, runners, cyclists, gardeners, farmers, and anyone who just wants to take really good care of their bodies, specifically their hips and low back. All the proceeds are going to benefit Keep Growing Detroit, Urban Garden in my family's hometown of Detroit, Michigan. They have a lot of wonderful programs that really help the community. So please make a check to Keep Growing Detroit. In the comments or in the description below, there is the address that you can send a check to. I'll also be providing PayPal and Square links, but there's a deduction from those. So it is best if you can. If you still have a checkbook, mail them a check. If not, shoot them a donation in the link. If you're struggling now but you enjoyed this, keep using this video. It's going to be permanent on YouTube, even though we're doing it live now. And when you're doing better later, you can send them a check when you can. So I'm going to grab a quick sip of water. We'll begin in just a minute. So thank you all for joining. All right, very good, everyone. We're actually going to begin laying down. So go ahead and just lay down on your mat. And we'll take our first pose, which is called deep relaxation pose, or it's also called Shavasana, which refers to just relaxing and letting go of the body. If your back hurts, you can have your knees bent, or you can use like a folded towel or a folded blanket under your knees if you really need. You can also use some form of cushioning under your head if you need support for that. Otherwise, just lay down and relax and take a couple deep breaths. And continue breathing deep. Take time, really inhale till you're full. And exhale slowly till you've released all the breath. And repeat that process. When you breathe in, and you take time to breathe out. Bring the legs together and then the right knee into the chest. Hug the knee into the chest, hold it comfortably. Rotate the ankle, slow and smooth. And do both directions. And put the foot flat on the floor. Now open the right knee. This is called tree pose, reclined. If you like, take the arms overhead. And if the knee hurts or the hip is sore, you can use something under the side of the thigh, like a cushion or a folded towel. And we'll take about 7 deep breaths here, about a minute or two, just to really relax into it. Gravity do the work for you to stretch the hip. And lifting the right knee. And take knee to chest. And then both knees to chest. Keep the left knee to chest, extend the right leg, and slowly rotate the ankle. Very smooth. And do both directions. And open the left knee, arms overhead, and take tree. So I'm sorry, you'd have the left foot flat and then open the knee to do tree. Tree pose, just taking some time to breathe, a minute or two, approximately 7 long, slow breaths. Enjoying how each breath helps you to feel a little bit more calm, centered, and relaxed. And then go ahead and lift the left knee. Bring the left knee to the chest. Both knees to chest. And open up the arms. Take the legs to the left. And then as a flow, take the legs to the right. Go back and forth a few more times. If it doesn't feel good on the back or any part of the body for whatever reason, you can hold your arm and control how far down you go. Otherwise, let the legs go to the floor or as close to that as you can. A couple more rounds. And when you're ready, take twists with the legs to the left and the body to the right. And just hang out in the stretch a little bit. Breathing and relaxing. Other side. And take a couple more really deep breaths. And come on back to center. Hold the back of the legs. And let's roll on up. Or you could gently roll to the side and come on up at your own pace. And we'll take a hands and knees position. Have the shoulders above the wrists. Or if you have sore wrists, you can have the hands more forward. And knees a little behind the hips. We'll roll out the back, rounding with the exhale. Lengthen the spine, breathe in. It's kind of a neutral back. And repeat that. Very simple, but very smooth and effective. Rounding the back, really prolong the tuck of the chin as you lengthen. And continue. Visitor from my cat, Riley. All right, very good. Now we're going to go ahead and bring the hands a little closer to the knees and slowly step up. Have the feet parallel. You might need the knees bent. We're going to fold the arms into each other.
If the back or the hamstrings are really sore, have the feet extra wide and the knees bending. That will help alleviate all that stiffness. Let the head relax down and take 5 deep breaths. And put a big bend in the knees. Make the back flat, support with your legs, and stand on up. Lifting the arms, and then bending the elbows with the hands in a reverse prayer to stretch the triceps. Abs in, small ribs in, glutes and tailbone down. And then lift and relax the arms. We're going ahead and going to take a couple of joint rolls now, just to keep loosening up slowly. Rolling the shoulders. All the while breathing. If you're newer to yoga and you lose your concentration, don't worry about it. Don't be a harsh critic of yourself, but do bring your awareness back to the breath. Let's go ahead and loop out the shoulders in the other direction. Good, and then we'll lift the arms just a little bit, and without turning the hips, we'll glide side to side. Keeping the hips square will help you to access a little bit more strength in your mid-back. Even though this is very simple motion, it does have some gentle qualities of muscle tone. Moving smoothly, breathing smoothly. And when you're done with both sides, take the right hand to the hip and stretch the other arm over, really working the hips to the side, keeping the core in a little bit, and using that hand to hip for leverage. Deep breath, slow exhale. Other side. And come on back to center. Double check that the feet are parallel. Next, we'll do a light chair pose. You bend the knees a little bit, lift the arms just a little bit, and then relax. And again, chair pose, you bend the knees more. If the knees hurt, you don't have to bend very much at all. Otherwise, you bend even lower and bring the arms up and put some weight in the heels and draw into the abdominals. Place the hands on the floor, hinge down, walk the legs back, lift the hips high. And this is called the downward dog pose, or it's also sometimes called the mountain pose, because you want to lift like a steep mountain where you have a tall tailbone and the head down as you push very strong into the hands. To loosen up the back, go ahead and wag the dog a little bit, hips side to side. If your hamstrings are really tight, have a light bend at the knees and the heels up a bit like that. And eventually you can press through the legs a little more. When you're complete, take the knees on the ground. Consider folding the arms under the head. Lower the head. Soften through the back. And take deep breath in child's pose. If you're ever losing the breath in any type of yoga class, especially the classes that have harder effort, this is a great pose just to take a break in and reconnect with the breath. You're always welcome to rest, slow down, change things as needed, so you don't hurt yourself, but rather you stay really calm and centered with the breath. And we'll go ahead and come back to center and point the toes, extend the right leg, just lift level with the hip, lift the left arm. And this is a good pose for muscle tone. It's simple, but it helps with muscle tone all through the body. We'll switch sides. When the body has good muscle tone, equalized through the body, then you're less likely to hurt your hips, your back, your knees. The body just has more stability with that healthy muscle tone combined with flexibility. We'll release from that. And take one more downward dog stretch. You push into the legs and lift the hips high. Head down, hips high, hands pressing, very strong through the hands, and relaxing through the neck. Let's put the knees down again. Take child's pose. Arms can reach forward, or if you need, fold the arms under the head, like we did last time. And next, we're going to go ahead and come on up to sitting, or take a kneeling position. So kneeling, more up if the knees hurt. And we're just passing through this very briefly and taking a big step up with the right foot. So right foot steps up. This is the runner stretch. And hopefully you can see I have my knee just above the ankle. You don't want the knee to protrude beyond the ankle. It's not as healthy as having the knee right above the ankle. But do consider using your fingertips to prop up a little bit and work on lifting the spine more. You're stretching the hip flexor muscle group of the back leg, hamstring connector, and front leg, lifting the chest, lengthening through the spine as part of the stretch as well. Next, we're going to lengthen the back leg. This is a raised runner stretch. You build a little more muscle tone around the knee. Now, if your knee or your low back hurts, you can leave it bent, but if you can lengthen it, then that will help the leg be stronger, and you go a little deeper in the stretch as well. We'll take a breath or two more. And glide back to a dog stretch. And knees on the floor, child's pose. Come on up to sitting or kneeling position and take a big step up with the left foot. Take 2 steps if you need. Step long enough so you can have the knee above the ankle and work on lifting the chest. Runner's position, we're stretching the hip flexors and the hamstring connector, and having those be stretched and well taken care of actually is really good for the low back. 2 of the hip flexor muscles of that large group of muscles run underneath the abdomen and connect to the low back. So that's how it's connected to the spine. If you're tight there, then it can really be hard on the spine, and vice versa. We'll take a breath or 2 more in the normal phase. You do the best you can to have all the alignments, but you also understand you can be patient with yourself if you're still learning. Add raised runner. You lengthen the back leg. All the way if you can, a little bit if you need, something in between. Also keep working on lifting the chest. Toes stay open. If you're not able to spread your toes, that's okay. Over time of being aware of your feet and maybe using your hands to stretch out your toes a bit, and the feet become more flexible and the whole body responds positively to that. We'll take a downward dog stretch. Breathe. let's lower the knees. Have the knees really wide and take a child's stretch with wide knees. So it's more of a hip stretch. You have some room for your stomach to relax, the internal organs. You can enjoy feeling nice and calm. And then one more time, rise on up to sitting or kneeling. Big step up with the right foot. Step twice if you need. Use extra height under the left hand. Put the right hand on the knee. Twist the spine. So now we're working the legs and doing a deeper stretch in the spine. And of course, breathing. All the while, breathing. And we'll go ahead and release from that and come back to a nice relaxed child's pose. From child's pose, again, we're going to come up to sitting or kneeling. Big step up with the left foot. And we have the runner stretch, knee above the heel or ankle preferably, and twisting to the left. Holding the thigh for some leverage and balance. Opening the right hand out so you can open the shoulders. The shoulders may tend to stick in and up, but try and have them low and opening out. And feel that expansive quality across the chest as you breathe deep into the stretch. Come on down. Child's pose. Let's take a couple clearing breaths. Breathe in deep. Let it out through the mouth with the exhale. Good. One more time. Breathe in. And enjoy that nice relaxed feeling, having let go of some stress. Now soft breathing. We'll come to the hands and knees and make ourselves pretty long. Next pose is a plank pose. So walk the legs back and engage the legs. If the wrists hurt, you can skip this or do this on the elbows. I'm not going to do it very much, but it is good to strengthen the core for stability of the low back. So you want to have a flat back for that, or even a rounded back with a tucked tailbone. That will really help the low abdomen be strong and the core to have more stability for the low back. And then knees down, very soft. Lower all the way down. Reach back through the feet. And inhale, take an easy cobra, where you just lift with the back strength, the hands are relaxed, the elbows stay lightly hugging in, and come on down. Let's try that again, but this time the hands can lift. That might help the chest to open a little bit more. And we can take the arms back and come on back. And lift the legs and the chest. Work on rolling the knees in, and that means not having the heels in. So heels out, knees kind of rolling in, And that should help you have a little bit more freedom in your lower back. And come on down. And next is a Cobra Pose. For Cobra, you don't want to overdo it. Maybe try your hands a little higher, a little turn down, and a little on the wide side. Lift slowly. And just take it to a comfortable level. Don't overlift. Try and feel it in the mid-back, not just the low back, and have the shoulders relaxed and the elbows a little bit bent. Couple deep breaths. And exhale, lower. Hands alongside the hips. Rotate the head to the right. And head comes back to center. And lift the arms and the legs. Locust pose. And then come on down. And rotate the head to the other side. And just relax. And head comes back to center. Hands alongside the chest. Use the core to lift. And let's take a downward dog. You're welcome to take child's pose instead, if this is a little bit more effort than what you want. And we'll put the knees down again. And lower to face down. One more time. Hands under the hips this time. Hips lower, legs lengthen, ankles extend. Lift the right leg. And again, roll the knee in a little bit. This helps to really build muscle tone into the low back and the glutes, which is very good for stabilizing the back, especially if you round the back, like riding a bicycle, or rounding to bend down to pick food out of the garden, pull weeds, and switch sides. Lifting and rotating the knee in and extending through the leg. And when you're done with both sides, bring the hands a little higher than the shoulders. And again, we'll take a slow cobra, just going to the depth that feels right for you. Don't worry about how high you lift. Just breathe and enjoy the stretch. And come on down. Take the arms overhead. Stretch out the arms in all directions. Lengthen the spine. Breathe.
Elbows come back under the shoulders or slightly in front of the shoulders. Have the hands a little on the wide side and really work on broadening in the chest. Lifting and broadening the chest. Taking time to exhale slowly. And then we'll release. Use the core to lift. One more dog stretch. And then again, child with knees wide. Lift on up and slowly bring the legs out from underneath. We're going to cross the legs with the ankles in front of the knees. This is the square pose. So ankles in front of knees. Take a forward bend, just a little bit at first, and then maybe eventually hands on the ground, and then eventually lengthening the arms further forward. This will help to stretch the back, the spine, the neck, and primarily the glutes, which we've done some strengthening work on. So now we get to release it, really enjoy that. And we'll come on up and switch which leg is in front. Try and do the best you can to have the opposite ankle in front of the opposite knee. So, when we sit like meditation or normal yoga sitting, it's like a triangle base, ankle in front of ankle. This is the square base. So we have the ankle in front of the knee. See how it's more of a square. And we'll take our forward bend into that nice stretch, just balancing out the sides. Go slow. Don't worry about how far you go. Focus on how much you breathe. And we'll release that stretch. And next we'll have the right leg straight. And the left leg bends in with the bottom of the foot to the inner thigh. Let's lift the arms to open the shoulders and have some nice muscle tone in the back. Lift the chest and take a twist to the bent knee. If it's hard for you to sit up really straight, you can sit on a cushion or a towel, fold it. If
If your knee really hurts, you can put something under it, or you can have the leg crossed a lot less intensely. Otherwise, the bend of the knee like this is opening your hip and stretching your quadricep a little bit, so that's nice. Work on opening up the chest and shoulders, getting the most out of the twist. It's a full body stretch, even though the spine is primary, there's a lot of parts of the body being included. And we'll go ahead and take a hamstring stretch now. So stretch and hold the foot. If you can't hold the foot, just bend the knee till you can, or be content to hold the shin. That's perfectly fine. You want to loosen up your feet, you can weave one finger between each toe, starting from the little one, working up. That's how you get that toe spread I was talking about earlier, if you don't naturally have that. And we'll release and switch sides. Left sitting bone back, squaring the hips, lift the chest, and arms up. And twist toward the bent leg. Next, we'll take a nice hamstring stretch. Deep breath. Remember your option to open up the toes. And if it's too hard to do that, that's fine. You can also work on taking one toe at a time and spacing it out. And then the toes will naturally, slowly develop more flexibility, or at least not get more tight. And that's a form of progress too. And when you're ready, release the forward bend. And again, we're going to lower onto the back. So set up so there's lots of room behind you. Use your core. Lower down slowly. You can hold the legs to help. And take knees to chest. Take the knees wide. And if you'd like, take a happy baby stretch with the ankles above the knees. It's like squatting, but laying upside down, a recline squat. Try and keep the neck lengthened and the lower back lengthened. And spread the toes. Breathing deep. And go ahead and release the stretch, feet to the ground. Now make the feet wide, like as wide as the mat or even a little wider. And bend the knees in. This will release the sacrum. If the knees hurt, don't have the feet as wide and or use something between the legs to support the weight. Otherwise, enjoy that nice deep release in the back of the hips and sacrum. It also neutralizes the low back. So if you ever feel a little bit compressed, a little bit crunched in your low back, this is a nice thing to do at the end of a long day. And bringing feet closer together. Let's bring both the feet together and open the knees, butterfly stretch. This should feel really good on the hips and the spine, but if the low back feels overarched, using a cushion of some sort to elevate the feet can help a lot. I like to use my hands under my head just to support my neck and head like a natural cushion. Just hang out here for a while and breathe. Spread the arms out to the side. Now let's roll up onto the left hip and take the inside of the right ankle to the inside of the left knee. You can use your left arm on your thigh for some balance and deeper stretch. And this is called the butterfly twist. It goes deeper into the sacroiliac joint and the low back. And if you need an easier one, do like what we did in the beginning where both legs are bent. Otherwise, the bottom leg is bent in a butterfly fashion, and the top leg's still bent that way too, but it's rotated up so the foot can be on the knee for a good leverage point. Couple more deep breaths here, then we'll do the other side. Move slowly, come back to the reclined butterfly. And take the butterfly twist on the other side. Enjoying the stretch, the hips and spine. Keep the shoulders grounded so the mid and upper back is part of it too. And take about 4 more breaths. When you're ready, slowly unwind back to the butterfly. And then the last pose is a cradle stretch, where you have the knees lifting, the ankle on top of the left thigh near the knee. Flex that foot and put the hand on the knee to stretch the hip. If you're a little tight, you'll feel the stretch already, and this is all you need to do. But if you don't feel much of a stretch or you want to feel much more, you draw the left leg in, hold the shin or the hamstring, try and lengthen the neck, and breathe deep. And let's go ahead and switch the sides. Both feet flat on the ground, left ankle on top of the thigh of the right side, and use the hand perhaps to help the left knee work away. Keep the left ankle flexed and straight in line with the lower leg bones. And if you want more of a stretch, draw in, breathe deep, keep the neck long, and work the hips down. 5 deep breaths here. And when you feel nice and complete with the stretch, release, lengthen through the arms and legs, and close the eyes. You can cover with your blanket if you need, or put it under the knees if your back needs support. Make sure you have comfortable temperature, you're very relaxed, feel supported completely in the pose. And then just close the eyes and let the breath turn to more of a soft, effortless, and natural breath. Taking time to relax and let go, and ultimately taking time just to be.
And we'll go ahead and deepen the breath. Got a visitor from my cat again. And slowly bring movement back to the body. Come into a comfortable seat. Sit nice and tall. And we're going to close with a clearing breath and a round of Om. So let's go ahead and breathe in through the nose. And let it out through the mouth. And then inhale for Om. Breathe in. All right, very good, everyone. Thank you very much. Namaste. This has been lovely. Hope it was just what your body needed. This is going to get saved. So if you like this routine, watch it over and over again. Give a donation to Keep Growing Detroit. We'll help continue to grow the beautiful mission of having a food sovereign Detroit and ultimately, eventually, food sovereign nation and world for all people. So great causes. Appreciate anything you can give. And yeah, we'll do this again. I'd like to do one of these every 3 or 4 months. So we'll keep supporting the cause, and please send requests for future types of themes of classes. If you'd like to leave comments and feedback, it's always welcome. I'm going to say goodbye for now, but do hit up the links for donations, and I will see you again for the next Benifit class. Take care, everyone. By the way, my name is Gabriel Benjamin, if we have not yet met. So, and I teach live streaming classes every week on YouTube and Facebook Live. So see you again, if not sooner than later. Ciao.